So today is the 26th of December. So yes, it is Boxing Day. It is a beautiful sunny day and we are off on a mini adventure in the pod. So I wanted to go away after Christmas, and since it's winter, I didn't think that booking a campsite would be a problem, so I left it rather late. Now, as someone who is still very new to touring, little did I know that this time of year is actually peak season, and lots of other campers like to get away for the festive period. Now that, coupled with the fact that lots of sites close over winter, and I try not to stay in the same place twice, I did struggle to find somewhere. But after playing around with the dates, I managed to secure a pitch for 4 nights at Kingsbury Water Park camping and caravanning club site, which is in Sutton Coldfield near Birmingham. So this is how I like to pitch. I like to put the pod right at the front with the nose facing forward and the door at the back. I feel this gives me more privacy. And I like to stagger the van and the caravan. This kind of creates like this outdoor space, and it gives Winston like an invisible barrier for kind of like what space he's allowed to kind of roam around in. He will kind of stay in this area. Now, because the pod is on this side, that means that I'll drive the van in, so I've got easy access to the side door. Obviously, if I reversed in, the side door would be on the other side, making it more difficult. Now, if I'd have really thought about it, what would have been a better idea would be to put the pod on that side and then reverse the van in here. That means if anybody gets pitched there, I would then have more privacy. I would then have this space here as like an outdoor space. And again, I would have privacy with the trees. But it's just little things like that, thinking about how to pitch and trying to just get a little area for yourself and trying not to be in a place where everybody can look inside. I often find that if my door is facing the road, then people do like to have a little nosy, and sometimes it does kind of infringe on your privacy a little bit. But this is how we like to do it, eh, Winst? Are you sniffing? You're sniffing something. Now, for those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, let me introduce you to the star of the show. This is Winston. He is my rescue dog, my adventure buddy, and my bestest friend. Now, after pitching, Winston and I went for a short walk to explore the area. Now, Kingsbury Water Park has 15 lakes and it is spread over 600 acres of country park, and all of it is accessible straight out of the campsite, which is just how I like it. I much prefer to be able to just exit my caravan and go for a walk with my dog, avoiding the need to have to get into the van and drive somewhere. Now, unfortunately, this site does not have a dog wash, in which case I have to use my small portable shower to rinse off any mud before allowing Winston inside the caravan. Now, obviously a dog wash is much better, but most campsites do not have that luxury. It really is a bonus if you get one, but this still seems to do the job. So it's just gone 7 PM and I am tired. Can't go to bed yet because Winston needs to go out for late night wheeze. So if I go to bed now, it just means me getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning to let him out. So plus I still need to get a shower and brush my teeth and all that stuff as well. So about another 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 hours before I can go to sleep. So I'm doing some work, but I don't have much brain power at the moment, so I'm just doing work that I can do on autopilot, stuff that doesn't take much concentration. I'm just trying to get that out of the way. But yeah, the tank is definitely empty. So I had the best sleep ever. We slept in this morning till about 8 o'clock, took Winston out to go to the toilet, came back, had breakfast, and yes, we went back to bed again. And it was nice because it's raining outside, but it's like a light rain, so you're laid in bed, you can just hear this very gentle pitter-patter on the pod. So yeah, it was lovely. Didn't get to the bathroom to get washed and changed till about 10 a.m. and that's only because the bathroom shuts at 10:30 for cleaning. So I literally just got there in time to brush my teeth, wash my face, do all my bits. And then now we're just about to get waterproofed up and we're going for a rather long walk. I'm thinking about 4 to 6 miles. We're just going to walk and see how we feel and see what the weather's like. Okay, I need to go get ready and then we're off on our walk. I do wonder if other people think I'm a bit mental when they see me take my dog for a walk in the wind and the rain. I've left my headphones, which I'm not happy about. I usually like to listen to some podcasts whilst I'm walking, but since I forgot them, I'm now going to be left with my own thoughts for the next few hours, which means that I'm going to overanalyze and overthink every aspect of my life. Oh, the joys. So at this point, I was wondering if I would have been better wearing my wellies as opposed to my walking boots. But then I started to compare the two, because wellies don't give you the same support as a boot. And then I started thinking, I wish someone could make a shoe that was as waterproof as a wellie, but as supportive as a boot. Then I thought that there must be some obvious reason why that hasn't been done. And then I started to think about, well, how could you do it? And then I went down that rabbit hole train of thought for some time, all because I had left my headphones. Now, while we were on our walking adventure, I found this obstacle. Now, I know that it's made for kids and I'm in my mid-30s, but I gave it a go anyway. And then after walking a bit further, we found another obstacle, which Winston wanted to have a go at. Now, spoiler alert, I did this no problem whatsoever. But then we continued walking and I found this one. Now, I was unsure of what to do, so I read the sign and it said run and leap. So I repeat, run and leap. Was I meant to run up them and then hurl myself off the end? I couldn't quite believe this. Remember, this is made for kids, so that doesn't seem particularly safe. I did have a go at the bottom one and it just felt very slippy. And I was like, no, I think I'd possibly draw the line here. I went to check the height of the end one and it was quite high. I did not feel confident about running up some slippy steps and then hurling myself off the end, so we made a pass on that one, unfortunately. But if anyone's had a go at that, please let me know what you did. Now, when we got back to the campsite and while Winston was enjoying his post-walk treats, I got to have a good look at the state of my dog. Now, I know this isn't ideal, but I do tend to think that a muddy spaniel is a happy spaniel. But now it was time for him to have a bath. So I do exactly the same as what I do when he is in the dog wash. He gets lots of treats and I just wash his belly and his legs. Now, it does take a little bit longer because obviously the water pressure isn't as good, and unfortunately it has to be done with cold water because I don't have any warm water in my caravan, but he copes with it very well, and the water is no colder than the lakes that he was voluntarily paddling in. So we've just had lunch. As you can see, the pod is still in the bed position. Usually I transform it from the bed position back into a living room as soon as I get back and before I have a lunch. But I got back, we were obviously wet, and so dried everything off. I just wanted to get in and I was so hungry, so I was like, sorry, I'm just going to make food first and then I'll turn it back into the living room. However, now I've had lunch, I am now thinking, is there any point changing it back into a living room? Half the day's gone. I'm going to be changing it back again in about 6 hours. So I thought, sod it, it's Christmas. I'm going to leave it in the bed position and we're just going to get my laptop out and I'm just going to work from this little table here. I'm sure it'll be fine. And Winston can keep having his snoozes and I haven't got to disturb him. Usually when I transform the pod, I usually kick him outside and he stands outside. I leave the door open and he waits outside the door because it's such a small space and I've got so many blankets and a duvet and I like to clean everything. It's easy when he's just not inside, but because the weather's a bit crappy, I would have to change it all over with him inside, which I can do. I've done it before and he's such a good boy. I'll go wherever you want him to go to, but it does obviously add an added difficulty when transforming it over, simply just because I've got so many blankets and things going on. But yeah, we're going to stay like this for the day. It's quite cozy, quite like it. So I've got some options white hot chocolate to try. This isn't looking very appetizing. Was I meant to make it with water? Or milk? Oh no, look, 200 millilitres of hot water. So I've done it right. But that, does not look good at all. Down a little bit, so let's give this options white hot chocolate 44 calories, was it? Taste doesn't look very good. Oh no, actually it's quite nice. Definitely tastes better than it looks anyway. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd buy a whole tub of it, but that's definitely quite nice, and I really like white chocolate. I love Milky Bar chocolate, it's my favourite. So yeah, I can live with that, I can drink that. I just want to note that I very much regretted this decision of working from this little table because firstly it was not comfy whatsoever, it hurt my back and my wrists. Secondly, I just had nowhere to put things, so I was just surrounded by my stuff. Although Winston seemed to like it, as you can see he's laid on his back at the moment, but yeah, this was not a good idea. Come on then, get your ball. Now
Now, running through Kingsbury Water Park is the M42, but it's not really a problem because it goes over the park and there are tunnels underneath for you to get through. Now on this occasion, this one was flooded, but I thought, no bother, we'll just go back and we'll try another one. There were 3 tunnels in total. So we went to the second one. That was even worse. You would need some armbands to get across that one. We went down to the third one, and that was even worse still. For this one, you would probably need a kayak. So yeah, we were stuck on one side of Kingsbury Water Park. We weren't able to go to the other side. I tried to follow some of the trails instead, but shocker, those were flooded as well. So I was looking at my map wondering, where can we go to? And I noticed that there was a canal that ran close by. So I thought if the canal isn't flooded, we could actually go for a long walk down the towpath. So that was where we were headed. Now on the way to the canal, we ran into a nature reserve, which is run by the RSPB, and it's stipulated that they like to have dogs on leads so that they don't disturb the birds. Now I don't particularly like putting Winston on a lead, but I'm guessing that as long as Winston walks close to me and doesn't run around, then he'll be okay. So this was the ideal opportunity for Winston and I to practice our heel work, which honestly we don't do enough of, and he was a bit rusty. But he soon managed to get the idea again and fall back into place. And then when we reached the canal towpath, I could release him and he could run off as though he's never had any freedom whatsoever in his whole entire life. So I think it's safe to say that today's muddy dog is a lot worse than yesterday's muddy dog. But in fairness to Winston, I wasn't much better myself. Now, learning my lesson from the day before, I'm definitely converting the caravan to give myself a workspace. So we ended up doing about 6.5 miles. Sometimes it rained, sometimes it didn't. It was a little bit windy, a little bit cold, definitely wet and muddy, but it was all right. Came back to the pod and now enjoying a hot pan of tomato soup. I don't know what it is about tomato soup, but it always tastes so much better after you've been out in this type of weather. And Winston, well, he was snoozing. Still drying, aren't you, Fuzzy? Yeah, still drying. I know. Good boy. Oh, that's not an invitation for cuddles. That is not an oh. So it looks like he did take it as an invitation for cuddles. So we're trying a new tea this morning. This one I got in my Twinings Tea advent calendar. And Winston is waiting for his morning snuggles. As soon as I sit down there, he will snuggle up and have his morning snoozes. I just need to put some milk on top of my cereal. What is it with oranges at this time of year? I don't eat oranges at any other time of year, but when it comes to Christmas, I feel as though I need to have an orange. So everyone tells me that I absolutely spoil Winston, and yes, I do. But as you've seen, he's such a good boy, and he deserves every moment of it. So here's a quick look at the campsite. So as you can see, it's well kept. It's everything that you would expect from a camping and caravanning club site. Lovely, clean facilities. These also had underfloor heating, which is definitely a bonus in December. They also have all the usual facilities such as laundry, dishwashing and chemical disposal. I know I'm here in December and it's very muddy, but I'm guessing this site would be much better in the summer seasons. The only downside to this campsite is that there is no dog wash, but as I mentioned earlier, that is a luxury that most campsites don't offer. But now it's time for us to get waterproofed up and to get ready for our last walking adventure of this trip. So apparently there was a storm. Now I remember checking the weather report and seeing some high winds, about 40, 42 miles per hour, but I never really experienced any. I think it's because our pitch, where we're at, we're quite secluded. So there was times I could hear the wind outside, so I could hear the wind going through the trees, but I never heard or felt it on the pod. So I never really got the pod shaking. I never really heard it come through the pop top. I never heard all the usual stuff that I get when the pod is in high winds. So I think we got away quite lightly, to be honest. Right, so I've got the wellies on today. They're only short wellies, but let's see if we can. Oh, there's even more water. Oh. So I can't see how deep it is or where the shallower parts are. You go first, Winston. Now at this point, someone came walking in the other direction and told me that there's some railway sleepers to the right of me and I can stand on them, which will therefore make the water shallower and I'll be able to get through with my short wellies. The trouble is, I need to find them.
Thank you! Oh, I feel it! There we go. Okay, I'm on them stuck in the stones. There we go. There's like some stones underneath. Oh, that's it. We've done it. We've done it, Wins. Let's go. Okay, so we just passed the water at the bridge there. And then there's another one. But we're just going to go this way. So this tree has fallen down. Look how interesting it is. So I think this might be the river that has overflown, because I think there's meant to be a footpath down here on the other side of that tree. Just down there I think there's meant to be a footpath, but the river has claimed this area. Come on, bud. So only a short walk today. We only did about 2 miles.
One, because the paths are all flooded. It's a good job I wore my wellies. If I didn't have my wellies on, we wouldn't have been able to go hardly anywhere. And secondly, because this is the nicest weather we've had since Christmas, I mean, it's not raining today and there isn't really any wind, everybody else has decided to come out as well. And obviously kids have got like new bikes and new scooters for Christmas, and they've obviously been dying to play with them, so they're out as well. And then because the paths are flooded, everybody's kind of getting funneled onto the same route, so it then becomes a really busy footpath. And I almost felt like I was walking down a high street. I was having to weave in and out of people and watch out for the kids. So in the end, Winston and I decided just to come back. We had a long walk yesterday, so we decided to come back early. But that's okay, because it's given me the opportunity to give the pod a really good clean. Winston and I could kick outside. He was outside playing with his toy, bringing it in for me to throw out. I could have the door open, the windows open, get all the stale air out, loads of fresh air in. Managed to shake all the blankets outside and spray them down with a disinfectant spray, clean all the surfaces. So yeah, I feel much better now because it just feels a lot fresher inside. So we're going to have a nice relaxing afternoon. I've got plenty of work to do, and I also there's a couple of books that I want to read. I've got them on my iPad, and I keep meaning to read them, but I keep getting into my work and then not having time to read. So today might be the day where I actually get round to reading them. But for now, we're going to make some lunch. So since this vlog has included a lot of drinks, thought I'd let you know that I'm now making a Horlicks. Winston was snoozing, but he's woke up to see what's going on. And I'm currently sat working. I'm just making you guys on YouTube a new short. Hope you like it. Now, after my 4-night stay, it was time for us to head home and to say goodbye to 2023. We've had a great first year with the caravan, and Winston and I have stayed at over 22 locations. Now, although that is a high number, especially taking into consideration that I didn't start until April, we have so many more adventures planned for 2024. Now, by the time we got home, my van was so dirty, and of course, not wanting to feel left out, my caravan was very dirty too. Now, I was just going to leave them, but this really bothered me, so the next day I decided to give them both a bath. So for the caravan, I just used the hose pipe and a bucket of soapy water. The caravan is then moved out of the way, and my van, whose nickname is Dory, is reversed into the yard, and she gets a good power wash. And then the dream team is clean once again, and they're ready for our next adventure, which is in 2 weeks' time, where we'll be heading off to Wales. Now, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.